My name is Steve Muir. I am the Emergency Management Supervisor for Washington County. My role is an incident commander at the Emergency Operations Center. And one of the things that we do initially when we first set up, knowing our job is the overall management of the incident or emergency. We take all the different things that are going on around the county. We want to coordinate that in one central location. So we call that the Emergency Operations Center. So as incident commander, my role is to establish the guidelines about and the goals and objectives that around how we're gonna handle the incident.
I'm Aisha Willits. I'm a principal planner for Washington County. In the Emergency Operations Center, I work as a public information officer. So I am responsible for getting the right information to the right people at the right time. I collaborate very closely with the incident commander to know what's going on within the EOC and outside in the county.
My name is Amanda Buersdorf. I work for Washington County and I work in the finance department and I'm a management analyst. And my role in the EOC would be working in the finance section if there was an emergency, where we manage the check-in and check-out process for all EOC responders, for county employees, non-county employees, and volunteers. And I advise staff on financial guidelines and the processes.
My name is Doug Horman. I'm a deputy sheriff with the Washington County Sheriff's Office and have been assigned to the Emergency Management Program for the last 13 years. And here in the EOC, I'm a planning section chief. So what that means is in the event of a large-scale disaster of some sort, my job in the section that I work in is to gather information about what's going on, evaluate it, disseminate it to those people who then can take action on it.
I'm Paul Seitz. I've worked for Washington County in land use and transportation as a management analyst, but today I'm working in the logistics section as a logistics chief. And in logistics, we have to make sure that we activate and set up all the supplies and all the materials to set up the Emergency Operations Center. We are responsible for providing the food and supplies for all the responders and making sure that they have all their needs met, including their medical and transportation needs. We receive and process orders for resources needed to manage the incidents themselves.
I'm Sue Monkern. I'm the Public Health Emergency Preparedness Program Supervisor for Washington County Public Health. In the Emergency Operations Center, when it's activated, I work in the Operations Center, and the basic role of the Operations Center is to work with the incident commander along with the planning chief to develop the strategies to manage the disaster. It could include, the operations section includes disciplines such as law enforcement, fire, EMS, emergency medical services, animal services, public health, Red Cross, whatever other community services are needed.
It's really important that families take it very seriously about being prepared. By involving your children and involving your whole family, we think that people are going to be much more prepared not only to respond, but to think about the event as it's happening and be able to translate that into action.
Public Alerts is a system by which you can enter in your information and receive messages back whenever there's something going on in your county. You could sign up for Washington County and get information about conditions on roads, weather conditions, anything that an agency in Washington County chooses to push out to the public. And you can get messages by signing up at publicalerts.org.
In a disaster, financial readiness is as important as having charged batteries. Everyone should conduct a household inventory, so take pictures and/or videotapes of any valuables. Buy a lockable, fireproof box or safe file cabinet and store any important home documentations in there, such as insurance policies, deeds, marriage license, passports, bank account numbers, and most importantly, have some cash on hand. We can't always have ATMs or credit card machines available, and we shouldn't assume that they're going to be working during a real disaster.
At home, you can do these same things that we do in logistics. The typical things you would want to pay attention to are storing of water. You'd want to store about 1 gallon of water per person in the family for a week. That's about 28 gallons for a family of 4. Store emergency food that doesn't require refrigeration, and you want to make sure your food has high calories and good nutrition in it. Don't forget about food for your pets as well.
So get to know your neighbors. Have a neighborhood meeting and get together and talk about forming a group and being able to look after each other in the event of an emergency, even if it's just knocking on their door and finding out if they're okay. We always encourage people to take a first aid class, learn CPR. The life you save will probably be somebody that you know.
Even zombies need to be prepared. So one of the things that we talk about is having a preparedness calendar. There's a lot of things that you can do to get ready, and it can seem overwhelming sometimes. But if we can encourage people, we like to encourage people that every month do one other preparedness action.